Hello guys, how are you doing? This is your boy Brian coming back to you with this brand new video. As you know, it's always a pleasure for me to be able to make these videos for you guys and not talk about the things that we care about, whether it's movies, MMA or football. It's always a pleasure, guys. And today we get to talk about UFC 300. What a card, guys. This is definitely one of, if not the most packed cards in the history of UFC and MMA. We've never had a card that has been packed like this. Guys, I heard that we have almost 13 champions and former champions within this card, right? When we get to name them, I can name at least 10 of them. Let's go. Let's try it. We have Cody Garbrandt, former champion. Davison Figueroa, former champion. Jessica Andrade, former champion. Yuri Prohaska, former champion. We have Charles Oliveira, former champion. Max Holloway, former champion. Justin Gaethje, former interim champion. Zhang Weili, champion right now, and two times champion. We have Jamel Hill, former champion, and we have Aljamain Sterling, former champion, and Alex Pereira, champion. So I just named 11, guys. I didn't blink. I didn't have to think about it. I'm an MMA fight fan, and I know this shit, guys. And I'm really excited about this card. There are fights that I'm more excited about than others. So I'm going to focus on the fights that I can, really give you my predictions on, and be somewhat confident about my picks on who is going to win. I'm only going to talk about mostly these fights there. So let's start with the very first fight of the night. Cody Garbrandt going up against Davison Figueroa. This is a fight that both fighters have been wanting together, like Cody Garbrandt calling out Davison Figueroa for many years now, and it's happening, guys. So who do I think is going to win this fight? I believe when you look at both fighters and the resume over the last few years, I'm going to have to lean toward Davison Figueroa. Cody Garbrandt is a great striker. I love his boxing. I love the way he strikes. But the problem is, guys, sometimes he just loses control when he's touching the wrong place, when he's punching the wrong spot. He just loses control and tries to go for war. And his chin doesn't really hold up, right? For you to be able to go out there and say, hell no, I'm just going for war, you need to be able to rely on your chin. And I don't believe that Cody Garbrandt should very much rely on his chin. He doesn't have that durable chin. So I'm going to lean toward Davison Figueroa, and I believe Davison Figueroa with his pressure could really touch Cody Garbrandt in the wrong spot and knock him out or finish him. So I'm leaning toward Davison Figueroa for that first fight. Second fight I'm going to talk about is Jessica Andrade versus Marina Rodriguez. Who is going to fight this fight? Who is going to win this fight, guys? We have on one hand Jessica Andrade, very good boxing, pressure fighter, comes forward with bombs. And then we have Marina. Marina, I believe, is a very slick and solid striker. Really, she's like, for me, she should have fought for the championship already, but I believe she had some setbacks, and I see her one day reaching that spot where she gets to fight for a title. For that reason, I'm going to pick her to win this fight against Jessica Andrade by decision. I believe she's going to be able to do to keep her space, to inflict small damages on Jessica Andrade, win by points, and be able to outstrike Jessica Andrade. But Jessica Andrade is a very dangerous fighter, guys. Her power in the women, in any women division, I believe she's one of the most powerful women out there when it comes to straight power, and she's strong, and so I'm going for Marina Rodriguez. I believe this is our time to really pull out that performance that is going to, push her like very close to the title fight. So Marina Rodriguez for that fight out there. Next we have Calvin Kattar going up against Aljamain Sterling, former champion Aljamain Sterling, going into the new division, the 145 division, and facing a dangerous fighter in Calvin Kattar. So who's going to win this fight? When you look at the style of Calvin Kattar, his boxing, his straight stand-up game is a very, very bad and dangerous fight for Aljamain Sterling, and he has strength that will allow him to defend the takedowns. But because it's a 3-round fight, and Aljamain Sterling coming up and not having to really cut much weight, I believe his wrestling and his ability to submit is going to play a big role in this fight. And if he can be able to, find a way to take this fight to the ground, or on the fence, really threaten Calvin Kattar as many times as he should be able to win this fight. So I'm going with Aljamain Sterling in the new division, getting that W against Calvin Kattar. I know how strong and how talented Calvin Kattar is, but I believe the experience of Aljamain Sterling is going to help him. And if he had learned something from his defeat against Sean O'Malley, is that he needs to be able to set up his takedowns, not just go, and jump into it, because there is always that risk of getting caught. So Aljamain Sterling for that win. Next fight we have, I'm going to talk about, is Yuri Prohaska versus Alexander Rakic. Now Alexander Rakic is the fighter that I wish welcomed Alex Pereira into the light heavyweight division, because I was thinking about the matchup and I was really salivating. It was really an exciting, just thing to think about. But he was out. He's been out for almost 2 years, I believe, due to an injury. And he's coming back now to fight Yuri Prohaska. Yuri Prohaska, who just lost by knockout against Alex Pereira in his last outing. He's coming back to be able to, he wants to win this fight and go back to that title contention. So who is going to win? Is it going to be Alexander Rakic, who's coming off a 2-year injury, or is going to be Yuri Prohaska, who's coming off for a loss by knockout? Interesting. We'll see how Yuri Prohaska is able to start this fight. Is he going to be able to start this fight with the confidence that he always has whenever he is facing an opponent, that's freestyle, that's spirit of being careless but presenting, your best foot together? Which type of Yuri Prohaska are we going to get in this fight? Because if we get the Yuri Prohaska that we got pre-injury, I believe he's going to be able to really disorientate Alexander Rakic. Is going to put the fight where he wants it, and I don't think Alexander Rakic coming off a 2-year injury is going to be able to deal with the pressure, the movement of Yuri Prohaska's foot game, and so for that reason, I'm going to lean toward Yuri Prohaska winning this fight against Alexander Rakic. So very interesting fight. Let's go with Yuri Prohaska. Next fight I want to talk about is Charles Oliveira versus Arman Turakiu. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing his name right. This is a fight so that I don't know much about. One thing I know is that he was able to really put up a very, very good outing, good fight against Islam Makhachev. People say is the most difficult fight Islam has ever head in the UFC, and when you're able to do that, that means you are legit. Being able to give Islam Makhachev his most difficult fights makes you a very particular individual. So who is going to fight? Is it going to be him? Who's going to win? Sorry, is it going to be him or Charles Oliveira? Guys, I'm not sure about this pick, but I'm just going to go with Charles Oliveira. I believe Charles Oliveira really wants to get in that spot where he gets to face, Islam Makhachev again and right his wrongs. So we'll see. I'm not sure, but I'm going to lean toward him because I know him better than Haman, and I've seen more of Charles Oliveira. His pressure, being able to deal with Gaethje the way he did, being able to deal with Chandler, being able to deal with Poirier the way he did, even if it didn't work with Islam Makhachev, but that pressure is really something solid that I believe will allow him to win this fight. And guys, let's not forget that we are always excited to see new bloods coming up there and winning, but sometimes the new blood is just not ready, right? Let's not remind you that Poirier just proved that. So very excited. I'm going with Charles Oliveira. Next fight I'm going to talk about is Weili versus Yan Chan Ho Chiana. I'm not sure. Like, sorry. I'm going to go straight. Zhang Weili is going to win this fight. I don't know much about her opponents. I believe she's a good striker, good fighter, but the fact that Zhang Weili can do it all. She's that woman who went to war and delivered one of the best female fights ever with Joanna Jędrzejczyk. She's that woman who has been undefeated. Our only losses come from her facing Rose Namajunas. But I believe if they face today, with what I've been able to see from Rose Namajunas, Zhang Weili will take that fight, win that fight. So I'm going with Zhang Weili winning this fight. This is a Chinese battle, two Chinese fighters going up against each other for that belt. It's a really interesting and exciting time to live in. So yeah, Zhang Weili for the victory. Let's talk about the main event. Now, the main event I'm going to talk about a little bit more. We have Alex Pereira, 2-division kickboxing champion, 2-division UFC champion. Right now, he has that belt, that light heavyweight belt. But before, let's not forget, he beat Israel Adesanya and won also the middleweight belt before Adesanya was able to come and avenge his loss. So this is a very, very dangerous fighter. Going to face and defend his title against Jamal Hill, who is a former champion, never lost his belt, got injured, had to relinquish his title, and is coming back now. Now, people out there, most people would say this is a fight that Pereira is just going to win hand down. Do I agree with it? I have my doubts. I believe when you look at the way Pereira fights, is countering abilities. The way he's able to, kick the legs of his opponents so that he can restrict the movement, make them uncomfortable in their style of fighting. Pereira is a very, very dangerous fighter. His hooks, he's that fighter that you don't want to face in the octagon. And I believe Most people saying that he's going to win are not wrong at all. And I might also lean that way, but there is a but for me. Like, Jamal Hill is a very good striker. He's a very, very good striker. And what makes him special is his ability to freestyle. You know, there are strikers that when you look at them, the way they fight and all, it's mostly like, they learned it, they trained it, and that's what they are doing. But Jamal Hill, when you look at him fighting, striking, it's like sometimes it's just, it's just flowing. It's just like doing his thing. Like his movements are like, he is like pure talent. He's the kind of fighter that would come in, the kind of guy that would come in, start learning striking like 2 years and 3 years, being able to beat and knock out people who have been learning striking for 10, 15 years, because he has that natural talent, that natural ability to, the way he moves is flowing, is like, it's natural, and it's beautiful. So for that reason, I'm going to say that this fight is not as clearly cut as you guys might think. So we have in one hand a very, very great striker, experienced striker, who knows where to strike in order to make his opponent uncomfortable, and who knows when to counter in order to switch that button that will knock out his opponent, will finish them. That is Alex Pereira. He's a lethal weapon to anybody. You don't take him seriously, or you just come in and try to bully him or etc. That is where you are going to get finished. And then in the end, we have someone like Jamal Hill. He's a freestyle fighter. He's that guy who comes in the gym, start learning for 2 weeks, while you have been learning for 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, and is able to do way much more than you could ever do. His flow is natural. His ability to strike is natural. Sometimes he leaves himself open when he's flowing too much with too much combination, and that can be detrimental, because Pereira would figure out, would see it, and will capitalize on it, and will finish. But then again, that flow could also be something that would disorientate someone like Pereira. So if you have, for you to be able to beat a guy like Pereira in MMA, like if you are using your takedown and etc., you get that advantage. But if you want to really be able to win against someone like Pereira, you need to be able to be inventive as well. You need to be able to flow, and that thing I believe Jamal Hill could be able to do it. He could be able to really flow and disoriented Pereira to the point that he could touch him and knock him out. Now, what I would advise Jamal Hill to do is sometimes let Pereira come to you. Let him come to you. If you can evade his strikings, let him come to you, push you back almost to that limit line, to where you are almost up against the fence. That is where Pereira is his most vulnerable. If you watch his fights, you will see when you are almost in that spot where he's pushing you back and you are again almost against the fence, that's where Pereira becomes vulnerable, because he opens up and strikes, and the way he moves, he just lets himself open. His hands are almost down, and I believe if Jamal Hill can be able to capitalize on that, he could touch Pereira in that spot and put him to sleep. So, who is going to win, Pereira or Jamal Hill? Woo. Jamal Hill has his chance. He has that shot. He can pull it. He can win. For me, it's like 57-43%. But let's just go with the safe bet, and I'm going to go with the safe bet and say Pereira. No, I'll go with Jamal Hill to win this fight by finish. He's going to touch Pereira. He's seeing something. There is something that he can do. His flow and his ability to really flow when he's able to do so, I believe he can really touch Pereira and put him to sleep. So I wanted to go for Pereira, but my heart is telling me that there is something about, you know, what Jamal Hill can be able to do in that octagon to win this fight. So guys, that was UFC 300, my predictions, but I haven't spoken about the BMF belt that is going to be on the on the line between Max Holloway and Gaethje. Who is going to win that fight? Guys, I don't know. That's why I'm not saying. I really don't know who is going to win this fight. Both fighters I love. Both fighters are entertaining as hell. I believe the boxing of Max Holloway is better than Justin Gaethje, but the leg kicks and the power of Gaethje will also play a very, very important role in this fight. But I don't know who's going to win, so I'm not going to predict this fight. You guys let me know who is going to win. Is it going to be Justin Gaethje, or is it going to be Max Holloway? I'm going to just watch and sit back, watch, and have a beer while watching it, guys. Tomorrow we get to talk about the results. What were my my best predictions? Where they get it right, where they get it wrong? But you guys let me know in the comment below who you think is going to win each one of the fights that are on this card. Thank you guys for watching. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.